Hello and welcome to our webinar on how to build your personal brand and get more leads. I'm Chad Hill and I'm joined by Adam Stetzer and our team in the Rochester office.
Hey, good afternoon, Chad. It's great to be here. This is Adam Stetzer. I'm president of HubShout and really excited to be talking about building your personal brand. And I know we've got an exciting guest speaker, so I'll let you take it away, Chad.
Excellent. A few notes just on how we're doing the webinar today. We will be recording the webinar and it will be posted to our website under the resources tab and then webinars, and that will go up tomorrow. Feel free to ask any questions in the questions window here. Adam will be manning those and we'll either ask the questions as we move through the webinar or hold a few towards the end. And one more note here, we will be sending out a feedback survey. We would really appreciate you taking the time to answer 4 short questions to let us know how we did. So let's get into the meat of the matter here. I'm joined today by Angelina Marie Hilton. Will be leading our webinar today. And before I turn things over to Angelina, I'd like to set the stage on how we arrived at doing this webinar. From her first day here at HubShout, Angelina has been challenging the status quo and pushing herself and others to new levels. She's focused and organized. And she recently moved from our account management team to a new role as a marketing and training role where we've been collaborating on several projects, her and I at least. And a few months ago, she came to me and told me that one of her goals was to displace me and Adam as the person with the most profile views on LinkedIn across the HubShout people. So last time I checked, I think she had. So with when we were envisioning this webinar, we decided that the best person to talk about building personal brands and leveraging social media and all the other things out there would be Angelina. So Angelina, take it away.
Hey, Chad, just before we jump into that, sorry, Angelina, I just want to make sure a few people said they had trouble with the audio. If you don't mind putting in a chat window that you can hear us okay, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, got a couple people saying I can hear great. Okay, thank you very much, Amy, Austin, and Richard. All right, cool. All right, next slide, please, Chad.
All right, hi everyone. My name is Angelina Marie, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about me. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, an ambassador, a project manager, and a worship leader. And currently at HubShout, I am the marketing and team development leader. And I'm here today because I believe responsibility to help each other and share our knowledge and our experience. No means the best at personal branding, but I have been given this opportunity to help other like-minded people experiences with it. So it is a position of vulnerability. If I can help just one of you, inspire you, or help improve some area of your life, I know that I've been successful in the purpose of this webinar. So I do have a desire to light a fire today, and I truly hope that you're able to acquire some relevant applications that you can take away. But in order for you to trust that I'm qualified to talk about by building your personal brand, I believe it's important for you to understand how I got here. So throughout high school, I was an overachiever. I was a cheerleader, a basketball player, softball player, and I participated in several clubs and held a position as a leader in them. I had a natural desire to be the center of attention, and at the time, I didn't know that my involvement would bring me in this direction. So I graduated, set out on the open road for the West Coast. I grew up in a small town where everyone knew everyone, and I didn't want to stick around because it was freedom that I desired the most. I wanted the freedom to travel, the freedom to learn, the freedom to grow. So I moved out when I was 17, thinking I knew everything, but grew to know that I knew nothing. And when you're by yourself in a big city, it becomes easy to fall into a pool of self-pity. I once had a roommate who got real with me and said straight up to drop your negativity, and I thought to myself, how people really see me. But personal branding is the combination of how others see you and how you see yourself. So the last thing I wanted was an association with frustration, depression, or any negative connotation. Her words helped transform my life and brought out self-awareness, so I decided to forget the strife and bring out the audaciousness. And I made a commitment to stay consistent and set out to make a change. I wanted people to remember my name and call on me when they were in need. So I changed my attitude, and I surrounded myself with people who inspired me and could help me grow. Any baggage that was weighing me down, I had to let it go. I gave college my all. I got involved in clubs on campus, networking events throughout the city, and participated in an invitation-only competition. I was even recognized as one of the most promising minorities in the nation. After graduating, I moved back to New York and I worked as an account executive at a local media company. I exceeded my goals, which I can attribute to my commitment to consistency, but at a prime time in my lifetime, I was driven by making money. So I wanted to be the center of attention and didn't care about what people said or thought about me. In fact, I let my haters be my motivators. If it was publicity, I wanted it, so how I acquired it didn't really matter to me. I kept hitting goals and did very little to help out anyone but me. I had a mission to bring my clients business, and as a result, I would get an increase in commission. Nothing else mattered, but through all of that success, there was still something missing. My desire to travel and learn new things took me on a journey to the Philippines. The Philippines showed me a truth that I had never seen. The brutal reality was that I lived without humility, taking advantage and appreciating things that didn't really mean anything. I saw extreme poverty, and yet those who literally had nothing seemed to be the most happy. I volunteered with We International, which is an organization that strives to create effective and sustainable solutions for people affected by poverty and injustice in developing countries around the world. I also worked on expanding my knowledge in mobile marketing. I knew when I got back to the States that I wanted to do more with advocating and communicate with people in ways that they could relate. This was a pivotal time in my life when I decided to take my future in my own hands and to motivate and educate others to make a positive difference in their life as well as in the lives of others. And from that came educate, enlighten, empower. So I started on another road of transformation, and instead of striving to please me, all I wanted to do was serve others. Knowing I'd help someone live or feel better was what made me happy. And I came back to the States with a changed attitude and a different point of view. I took jobs that allowed me flexibility to travel more and live humbly. I was penniless, yet happy, briefly. And the next couple of years threw me a hard curveball with down times where I thought I wanted to end it all. I went through heartbreak and heartache, questioning if my past decisions were worth it all. I also had family diagnosed with cancer and feared of losing people I love, and I had little to no faith for the man above. And I recognized that this feeling from before, but I knew I didn't want to be that person anymore. So I picked myself up and changed my attitude once more. And I realized that no matter who you are or how hurt you are, you're not that far from getting back on track. So I started exercising, going to church, volunteering, and getting involved with the community helped bring about new opportunity. And during the last few years, I have become increasingly involved with the American Cancer Society and more recently began teaching at the Rochester Brainery. So my experience in marketing and my passion for helping people has become my Brown foundation while I am still continuously learning and going through a transformation. So here I am now. I'm super thrilled to share some insight into what has worked for me. And again, I believe helping each other is our core responsibility. So I hope my backstory laid some foundation for some credibility. So let's get started, and we'll go to the next slide.
Nice. That was just one slide, guys. I think if anyone in the office will tell you that Angelina wins the award for most enthusiastic, so I can already hear that in the first slide. This is really cool stuff.
All right. Well, people want to invest in, work for, and partner with professionals that they know and trust. Simon Sinek has a lot of great influence on our company here. We watch a lot of his videos, and he says people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. But I also want to add that they buy from people that they like.
Yeah, and he has this great way of saying it. They don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. We've been watching this video at HubShout quite a bit, and I think it's a perfect accompaniment to your message here and kind of what you're talking about with branding. If you haven't seen the TED Talk, I encourage everyone on this webinar to just invest 12 minutes. I've watched it probably 5-6 times over and over again, different teams, and he's got longer form talks as well. And the message is it is really quite revolutionary because we all talk about what we do, and he kind of turns that upside down on its head. They don't want to hear about necessarily what you do. They do kind of, but first they want to know why you do it, and ultimately why they buy from you is based on why you do what you do. But Angelina will expand on this as she moves through, I'm sure.
The next slide. So today we're going to go through a few different points. We're going to be able to identify what leads you're looking to acquire, how to improve and expand your social presence, specifically with Facebook and LinkedIn, networking, community involvement, teaching and speaking, and referrals. Next slide. So I'll let you guys read this slide while I talk a little bit more about what it means. To generate leads by building your personal brand, being a leader is crucial. According to management.about.com, leadership is a timeless practice of guiding others in pursuit of the same goal, destination, or desired outcome. A leader has vision. A good leader continually recites their vision and brings it in the front of the community, which is one of the reasons why Facebook, LinkedIn, community involvement, networking, referrals is so crucial to this. Leaders see a problem that needs to be fixed or a goal that needs to be achieved, whether the goal is to double the company's annual sales, develop a product that will solve a certain problem, or even start a company that can achieve the leader's dream. The leader always has a destination in mind. But it's not enough to just have vision. Many people see things that should be done, things that should be fixed, or are conscious of a great step forward that could be taken. So what makes leaders different is that they act, they take the steps needed to achieve their vision, and generating leads means leading by example. People will follow and listen to someone who is willing and patient enough to connect and engage with them. It is a significant opportunity for you to listen as well. People will share their whole life story if you let them, and they will tell you exactly what they want and exactly what they need, what direction they want to go in, and how you can help build and grow with them. Generating leads isn't the real goal. It's building relationships and establishing yourself as someone that they can trust. Sales leads will invest more money in you, and they invest more time and energy too. So you got to make it count. We can move on to the next slide. This is a quote from Dan Schwabel. He is a well-renowned author of the book Me 2.0, and it continues to get revised. There are several revised editions, and I do highly encourage, if you can invest in an audiobook or Barnes & Noble's, to be able to read this book. But personal brand is how the world sees you and how you see yourself. Your brand should be a reflection of who you are. So do you know what you believe in, what you stand for, what your strengths and weaknesses are? Just recently we launched, well actually our marketing team recently launched a superhero campaign where some of the employees got together and developed their alter ego into a superhero. And we had to identify our strengths, our weaknesses, and what our powers and abilities are. And we also had to develop an origin story as well as share a story that we're most proud of at our company and what our role is in it. So this really helped us to take a good look at ourselves and figure out who we are, who we want to be, and what made us this way. We essentially created our own brand that we, as employees at HubShout, want people to identify with. We created a personal brand. So building a personal brand is first and foremost developing an understanding of your true self and then sharing that with the world. You can go to the next slide.
And you say that like that's easy, right?
Well, for some people it comes natural, but there are ups and downs and lots of turnarounds.
Yeah, and just, there's a bunch of comments that have come through and people saying this is really cool and I really like the quote. Someone had asked if they could go back a few slides. I just want to reiterate, we're recording this. We'll have this up on the website. And also, Chris, when you were talking about relationships and trust, said, bingo. Hi, Chris. I'm glad you're listening today.
All right. Well, so we're talking about building up our personal brand and generating leads. So you have the personal branding aspect, but then you also have social selling. And when I say social selling, you're able to utilize our social networks like Facebook and LinkedIn, but also you have to get social. You have to build up that confidence to be able to go out there into the world and make yourself known and build these relationships face-to-face with people. For some, that can be quite difficult, especially for introverts. Myself, I am extremely outgoing, but I will let it be known that I do get butterflies, and coming into this webinar to be able to speak to over 100 people at one time is definitely very nerve-wracking. However, I do believe that we should err on the side of boldness. So social networking takes up nearly a quarter of all time spent online and reaches more than 75% of all internet users. So if you're engaging with your target audience on any level via social media, whether for business development or promoting your brand, that is social selling. In the age of social media, leveraging a social professional network like Facebook or LinkedIn to drive your own sales leads is becoming increasingly important. So utilizing social selling for lead generation, it enables you to find and connect with your potential sales leads who are already on these social platforms engaging with others in content. And according to Hootsuite, social selling generates 40% more qualified leads than cold calling. I'm going to repeat that. Social selling generates 40% more qualified leads than cold calling. Social selling can be both online and offline, and I will discuss with you how you can generate leads by using both. So we can go to our next slide. Facebook. Direct leads are generated by sharing content that links directly back to a form on your website where visitors can share information in exchange for an offer, whether that be an ebook, a coupon, an infographic, or any other piece of content. And this form is housed on a landing page dedicated to that special offer. Indirect leads are generated by using Facebook on the path to conversion, such as the one that's the example up here. For example, if you shared a blog post that had a call to action to a landing page at the bottom of the post, your initial Facebook share is helping direct visitors to that landing page. This one specifically, I had a goal last year to raise a bunch of money for the American Cancer Society, and on the Relay for Life 30th anniversary, I put out a post to my fundraising page asking 30 of my friends to donate $1 to help celebrate that birthday, and I was able to achieve that goal. Therefore, I acquired leads, and I also had conversions. When I worked at the Democrat and Chronicle, I was considered one of the top sales executives.
Hi everyone, and this is Chad. I think we've got a little audio glitch going on right now. Angelina, are you guys back? Give me a 1 if you guys can hear me talking, a couple of you.
Oh, hey, Chad, did we die?
Yeah, you guys died,
Yeah.
died there, but you're back. We can hear you now, so go ahead.
Yeah.
Where did we leave off?
Yeah. Talking about maybe.
You were I think talking right at the end of talking about the dollar, getting the dollar and asking for generating leads through that way.
All right, so I used to work at a local media company, and I was in outside sales, and I serviced all business with them. And so what I would do is make sure to connect with the business owners on Facebook and like their business pages. And since I was in outside sales and always on the go, everywhere I went, I would check in on Foursquare, because at the time they didn't have Facebook checking in, but there was an opportunity to share that status update. So everybody knew, everybody who I connected with, which were business owners in all these different restaurants, nightclubs, and they could see that their competitors were engaging with me. So it's like kind of like keeping up with the Joneses. So as my network grew on Facebook, it became a database for potential leads. If there was a discount going on for ad space, I'd promote it. If there was a particular campaign we were running that I'd feel appropriate for specific businesses, I'd call them out. At all times, we ran on deadlines, so sometimes we needed to make a last-minute sale to fill the ad space gap. So I couldn't be in all places at once or get on 100 calls at one time. So sharing that last-minute ad space availability on Facebook was super helpful in closing the deal. And during my time at the DNC, I was able to manage on average 50 active accounts monthly while building relationships for future opportunities. And overall, I generated over $500,000 in annual revenue and was named top sales executive of the quarter that awarded a $1,000 bonus. So currently, I use Facebook to generate awareness for the American Cancer Society and the Relay for Life of Greece, New York, where I currently sit as a tri-lead, and my role is to fund the mission. So through Facebook, I've been able to raise funds, awareness, and build teams. Last year, I had over 15 team members and exceeded my fundraising goal by 300%. And much of the success can be attributed to my network on Facebook and how I present myself and the cause. Having a positive representation on social platforms is crucial. I wouldn't recommend sharing any negativity or complaining about things, and to keep it clean. Facebook is very personal, but even so, as an event lead and someone who uses the platform for branding and generating leads, I need to make sure I maintain a positive image. If someone is interacting with your posts, be sure to engage with them. Building your personal brand and generating leads from it requires engagement. You can also become part of groups or start your own, especially if you consider yourself an expert in your field. This is also a great platform for creating and inviting people to events. Like some of you are probably here today from an event I created on Facebook for this webinar. Just last week, I volunteered to help a member at my church put together an event for a Mother's Day brunch that is a big event to help inspire women, build their faith and fellowship. And there's a guest speaker with limited seating that costs $25. And we're able to include links to these registration pages and provide an open format within the event for anyone who wants to provide feedback. I then shared it with my network and tagged every woman I knew that would either have an interest or that I was connected with that attends our church. According to social media and sales quota report, 78% of salespeople use social media to outsell their peers. 78% of salespeople use social media to outsell their peers. And I'm one of those salespeople. Another platform I'm active on that would like to continue to increase my activity because it helps with profile rankings, as Chad mentioned earlier, is LinkedIn. Just to go to the next slide. So, LinkedIn is very special to me because it has connected me with people who have had a significant impact on both my personal and professional life. This is where I met Jillian Ferrens. In 2013, my mother was diagnosed with cancer. I was freelancing and waitressing and looking for different work opportunities. So I was skimming through LinkedIn and saw a post that was looking for volunteers with the American Cancer Society. So being that I wasn't working too much and that my mother had just been diagnosed, and the fact that I'd never experienced something like this so close to my heart, I reached out. I met Jillian through LinkedIn, and at the time, Jillian was the co-lead for the Relay for Life event in Greece. And she invited me to the very first committee meeting of the season to learn more about the event and what the volunteer position would be. There was a spot available for marketing, and since marketing fell into my background, I jumped on board. I was introduced to many other people affected by cancer, worked in marketing, and since advocating and promotions were essential to fundraising and building awareness for the ACS and what they offer the community, I began to travel to meet with people from all over the state and New Jersey as an ambassador. This includes meeting with state legislators with several trips to Albany. LinkedIn introduced me to Jill, and Jill introduced me to the American Cancer Society. So in January, I started working more in marketing at HubShout, and one activity we do on a weekly basis is track our marketing metrics. This includes metrics like organic visits to the site, followers on social media, and much more. I thought it would be fun to track metrics on LinkedIn, so I initially started tracking my connections and updates. And LinkedIn provides analytics so you can see where you're ranking for profile views among your connections and the activities you're doing on a weekly basis. And then my metrics expanded to updates, email sent, pulse posts, new connections, total followers, profile views, liked updates, endorsed other people, new recommendations, posted group topics, joined groups, ranking percent total connections, and ranking percent among my coworkers. So when I first took a look at where I ranked for profile views, I was in the 30th percentile. As I started becoming more active, such as providing recommendations, sending out emails to those I connect with, endorsing people, writing pulse posts, engaging in conversations in groups, adding updates, sharing and liking updates, my rankings increased. I set a goal to get into the top 5% without paying for premium service, and in a period of just a few months, I achieved that goal. But I didn't stay there for long because, like SEO, if you are not consistently adding fresh content or staying active on the web, your rankings will drop too. So at the moment, I am tracking what I'm participating in to see what has a greater impact on rankings. My connections have increased and so have my followers, and the connections are the two-way relationships of trust between people who know each other So if you're connected to someone, you're following them and they're following you by default. And following allows you to read right on your homepage what members are sharing publicly on LinkedIn, including content that they've created, such as long-form posts. You can follow someone without being connected to them. And I do have more followers than connections, which tells me that people want to know what I have to say. So I do have a few tips on how to grow your LinkedIn network by establishing your credibility and generating leads. I'll go kind of slow on these ones. That way, if you're taking notes, you can have some time to write them down. But first and foremost, you want to create an effective executive profile. You want to be able to tell your professional story to attract opportunities, build and nurture your networks to unlock future opportunities, and stay informed on news relevant to your professional world and gain the skills to stay ahead in your career. So a couple things you can do to customize your LinkedIn profile is uploading a professional photo. It says that you're 11 times more likely to have your LinkedIn profile viewed if you have a picture. Write a compelling headline. Mine is Marketing and Team Development Leader at HubShout, Inbound and Outbound Lead Generation and Brand Building. So it not only just says what my position is here, but it also tells people what I do. These are keywords, so if somebody is looking for inbound marketing, hopefully if my profile is optimized well enough, I'll move up in the rankings or in the search results. Adding a summary is the essence. Your summary, in essence, is a story of you. Share the vision you have for the role that you play or your company. And adding rich media like videos and presentations, they'll help maximize your exposure on LinkedIn and better showcase. Sales tip number 2, efficiently connect with the people that matter. LinkedIn isn't intended to replace face-to-face interactions. Instead, it optimizes your ability to know more about people you've met or about to meet. Also, inviting people to connect is a great way to follow up in in-person meeting. I just attended a seminar last week, and there were people there that I didn't know, and we were forced to do icebreakers. So we went up and met people, introduced ourselves, who we were, what we did, and then immediately I invited them to connect on LinkedIn just by pulling out my phone. Leverage your mutual connections. People are 5 times more likely to engage with you if the outreach is through a mutual connection. See who within your network is connected to your second or third degree connections and request an introduction. 4, find your top tier customers. Sales is about people, but nurturing relationships takes time. LinkedIn allows you to find your customers by searching by name, company, or position so you can easily connect with and establish better relationships. Number 5, follow your customers' activity in real time. If you're connected with your customers, their public activity will appear in your newsfeed. Keep tabs on your contacts' interests and updates so you can remain top of mind and provide the necessary information. 6, listen to conversations and debate. Joining and following group discussions in your industry is an excellent way to gain customer insights about needs, interests, and more. 7, use LinkedIn Pulse to stay on top of industry trends. It curates content in real time based on your interests and the companies and influencers you follow. Share and comment on these articles to demonstrate your insights. 8, reach people directly and credibly with InMail. An effective sales prospecting requires communicating in ways that get noticed, so identify about the person that you can reference in the message. Then send a follow-up InMail 1 to 2 weeks after the original because it increases the response rate by 500%. Number 9, engage with your customers. This is huge. Today, there's over 1.5 million unique publishers actively sharing content on LinkedIn. You can become a voice in your industry by sharing relevant blog posts, insights, and industry news. Then next comes publishing content. So leverage LinkedIn's publishing platform to share long-form posts with your network and beyond. When you publish a post on LinkedIn, your content becomes part of your profile and is shared with everyone, even those outside of your network. And it's a great medium to generate leads while positioning yourself as an expert in your field. And these posts are also searchable on Google. So make sure that that post has a solid headline, is attention-grabbing, and it keeps SEO in mind. A good idea is to state a problem that your clients can relate to, a question or a problem to draw your readers in. At HubShout, when we create on-site content, we start with 300 words, so I'd recommend your post to be at least 300 words too, and it should be engaging and provide a solution to the problem that you stated. At the end, ask your readers a question about the content, encourage them to comment and to share, and make sure you always include a call to action, whether it be invite back for more, request to connect, link to join your email list, etc. High resolution images and video, it helps to keep visitors on the page longer, and also include tags that best describe your content to make it easier for others to find your article when searching for topics. Once posted and published, always return to your post and create a conversation with the people who engaged with your content. These are people who are genuinely interested in what you have to say, and maybe potential leads, so don't miss out on the opportunity to build a relationship with them. LinkedIn enables sales lead generation success by allowing sales professionals to easily and quickly find the right prospects. And so they allow you to use their advanced search and filtering system to quickly identify influencers and decision makers and save them as leads to create high quality lead lists. So I know that was a load of information. Are there any questions in particular that might be standing out that you found?
No, we're pretty good in the chat window, but I think LinkedIn is a good habit, and I think a lot of people struggle with just kind of getting it into their routine. I know you and Chad are pretty good at this, but I still forget. Like, I served as a reference earlier this week, and I was like, oh yeah, I should LinkedIn that guy, just because you talk and you come across these interactions, and you just need to build it into. I like your idea of, like, as soon as you meet someone or you're going to a meeting, even as a prep, if you know you're going to sit down with them, just use this to build out your network and then follow it up with this content. It's good. Good habit.
And I have a question too on that, because then I think, first of all, Angelina, I mean, do you think that list of 10 things, can we get that, we can try to see if we can get that written down and maybe also attached to when we post the slides tomorrow, because I think people would like that as a little desktop reference card, because I actually have a note from one of our earlier discussions that I have up in Evernote that I pull up every once in a while and look at in terms of this kind of stuff with personal branding. But I was going to ask you, like, how much time a week do you think you spend on this? And Adam talked about incorporating even that, remembering to link to people, but some of these other things you talked about with posting and those 10 items that we went through, how much time does that take you, and how do you incorporate it in and remember to do it? How do you get it into your workflow so it's not hard to do?
Well, it definitely takes time, especially to craft your story. I will tell you, I have Google Doc after Google Doc after Google Doc of summaries that I've written and have edited and have had up and have taken down, but always to reference back to. As far as connecting with people, I mean, it's so easy to engage on LinkedIn because you don't have to be in front of your computer. You can easily download their app and get involved, and it's as simple as asking someone, hey, are you on LinkedIn? And they're like, yeah. All right, well, what's your name? And then you pop it in, and then you send the connection, then you're together. As far as crafting posts, that definitely takes time. I am not a writer. I would love to be, but it's not what my core responsibilities are. So I definitely have to set aside, probably like a good 1 to 2 hours to be able to do enough research on a topic, or also just jot down my ideas and then help formulate them like the next day. It's definitely a process, but as far as time per week I'm spending with this, I would say put aside about an hour a day if you're really serious about this. I have some pretty aggressive goals, whereas others may just want to get their feet wet. But uploading a good profile photo doesn't take any time at all. Writing a catchy headline about what it is that you do and why you help people shouldn't take too long at all. A nice little summary shouldn't take too long. As far as optimizing your profile, we can definitely send out these tips, but I do have a pulse post. If you've connected with me on LinkedIn, you can go and check those out. I have 5 easy, simple tips on how to update and optimize your profile with videos and images that can help you get started.
Excellent. And again, for everyone, yeah, it does. And for everyone listening, when we post this tomorrow, some of that content Angelina's talking about, this 10 list and the 5 tips, we'll make sure we get that into the posting so people have a reference, something to point to.
All right, fabulous. Well, we can move on to networking. All right, so this one's pretty near and dear to my heart too. I think it's extremely important that you surround yourself with people who inspire you and will help you to grow. There is a saying, feather flock together. You can find a mentor who is someone that you can trust and believes in you, someone who has knowledge or experience to help you grow, someone who inspires you to do and be better. And over the years, I've surrounded myself with some amazing people, and I do hope that some of you are in here listening today. I do want to shout out to Alex and Zari. These two have so much drive and passion for life and love that it inspires me to want to give more of myself. I've had many professors that were mentors. To name a couple, Donna DeJoya, she saw potential in me that I didn't recognize, and she helped to bring it out. Henry Hakima, he taught me how to understand that anything we do, there should be a reason or a why for it. He also helped stretch my creativity past the limits I thought I had. Ashley Krenzer, she taught me what a solid partnership should be. We worked side by side together for my first job out of college, and I can confidently say that we were a dream team. Then we've got Jillian, Sadie, Emily, Laura, Christine, among many other great individuals I volunteer with. These ladies are motivated and dedicated to saving lives and improving the quality of life for others. They not only volunteer for their causes, but they work for them too, making it a daily mission. Pastors, Ryan and David, their stage presence is captivating. Not only do they provide messages that are relative to what people may be going through, they do so with poise and enthusiasm. I do aspire to one day to be able to get in front of hundreds, if not thousands, of people and be able to captivate the audience in the way that they do. My mother, who doesn't ever give up, she's gone through some tumultuous times, and we all know that life can beat you down, but she never gave up, and her attitude has always remained positive, so she inspires me to do the same. My husband, he's so forward-thinking and challenges me to do more and to be more, yet provides encouragement by not only challenging me, but walking beside me too and challenging himself. And God, everything that I work for, I owe it all to him. So every person that's in this room today, all of my coworkers, I got to tell you that the drive and the passion in this business is by far the most exciting and exuberating that I've ever experienced. When people talk about collaboration, I think about the members of this team and how hard each one of us works independently and with each other. We hold each other accountable, and we listen to each other, and we believe in each other, and that each one of us has something special to offer one another.
Angelina and I have been talking about this first point quite a bit, about surrounding yourself with people who inspire you, who will help you grow, who are positive. And, that message sounds like, you probably heard it before. It's been around forever. And it might sound like it's coming from like the self-help, kind of genre that people make fun of. But what's been really exciting for me, and again, we've been talking about this a lot at HubShout through Sean Aker's work at Harvard, is they have actually kind of discovered the neuroscience of why that actually is true, like on a biological basis. These studies are fascinating. You put yourself in a group where the affect is negative and defeatist, and they've been able to show within 3 minutes your mirror neurons start firing and your affect starts to come down. So like these things that that Angelina are talking about are actually based in a whole new revolution of positive psychology and brain science that actually explain why it happens, which I've found to be very rewarding to read about and talk about, and kind of move it out of, oh, that's just something we always knew, to like, no, there's breaking, cutting-edge science that explains why you absolutely have to pay attention to this type of advice.
Absolutely. And the right people for you, they're everywhere. You just have to get out there. And you can do this by attending church.
Uh-oh, we lost him again. I was supposed to bring, we've been having oh, here you're back again.
Oh man, yeah. How long were we gone?
Just started talking about places where you can join and look for people to surround yourself with.
Okay. So I do encourage you to attend networking events as much as possible. Bring your cell phone and encourage people to connect with you on LinkedIn. If you do prefer a business card, consider this. This has come from statisticbrain.com that 88% of business cards handed out will be thrown away in less than a week. So if you have a website, encourage a new connection to take a look while you are chatting. Get as possible, and you can even encourage swapping contact information right then and there. And be sure to follow up after the event and remind them who you are, maybe something that you talked about that may have caused a good laugh or a good story. You can also attend BNIs. Go online and look up meetup groups. Locally, we have a group called the Rochester Young Professional that puts together networking events, so I make sure to follow them on Facebook and subscribe to their emails. With over 190,000 members in 7,300 plus chapters worldwide, the BNI network is the largest organization in the world. So I would encourage you to get involved with the BNI network in your local chapter. You can go to the next slide if there are no questions. Okay. Become a community champion. So get involved in the community. Volunteer or sit on a committee or a board. Getting out in the community will help to expand your network, and a lot of times there are downtimes, so that's an opportunity where you can get to know who the other volunteers are. It'll also help to build your relationships. It helps to expand your network, expand and strengthen your skill sets. You're able to try on new roles. You can fill in employment gaps, and you can become a better coach or a leader. I was out of a professional job for quite a while when I decided to take that trip to the Philippines, and Mom got diagnosed with cancer. So I was able to put my skill sets, I was able to channel that into volunteering and sitting on a committee, a planning committee for an event. And then I started in marketing 3 years ago, and now today I actually am a co-lead, a co-chair for the event itself, and it raises over $70,000 a year, and collectively in the Rochester market over $1.3 million, I believe it is. So it's huge. In church, we get involved with a community for an organization called Adopt a Block, where we gather up laundry detergent, and then we go to low-income neighborhoods, and people who sign up the month before are able to come down and we give out free laundry detergent. We're able to learn from these people, and ways by listening to them we're able to identify needs in our community, but it also allows me to have fellowship with other volunteers at an organization and a faith that we all share. So we can go to the next slide if there are no additional questions.
There is one question for you.
Okay.
How do you prioritize all these activities?
That is a great question. On top of that, I'm also a mother.
Yeah, because the next part she said was, these are great if you're young, single, and have no kids. So yeah.
Well, actually, let me tell you something. I am married. The guy I've been with, the guy I married, I've been with him for 8 years. We have a 2-year-old son. And I work what feels like full-time. It was part-time for a little bit so I could stay involved with the community, but this new position, new role has called me into the office a little bit more, which I'm absolutely happy for because it's always a learning experience. I go to church 2 to 3 times a week. I also sit on the board and volunteer. It really comes down to time management. And I also have an incredible support system. I have my husband, and he wrestles, he's involved with church, he runs a business with employees, and he's a dad, and he works out all the time. So Google Calendar is amazing because you are able to streamline both calendars with the people that you work with. And if you don't have a partner like that, I would, if you are able to ask family, ask friends. There are organizations that do help out with child care, like church, for example. I wouldn't necessarily be able to participate in some of the activities there if they didn't have child care. So really it's lifting up the rock and looking underneath to find, what else you can get from underneath it. So it can be very difficult. And I have experienced difficulty, but again, I've been very blessed to have my husband by my side.
And again, you're a great person because your capacity, I think, to do all this is very impressive. I think a lot of people, I think one of the things that I've observed, Angelina, is you just have intense focus. So, not everyone's going to have that same intense focus. You're a great person because you can talk to us about all these things you're doing, but I think ultimately everyone has to kind of pick the things that they want. And I was going to mention one thing on here that I've heard many people talk about, and I was recently talking to someone that a lot of, especially around nonprofits, you were talking about, helping raise money for cancer research. But one of the things that I think all of us as digital marketers, almost all nonprofits are trying to do more with the web and technology, and they need help doing this kind of stuff. I'm actually helping out a local organization that deals with scoliosis related issues, and they need help trying to figure out exactly what's going on and how to leverage technology in the web. So I think this idea of sitting on a board of directors or volunteering and using some of your skills there, it does open doors because you meet a lot of other people when you're talking and presenting. And so this is just one that I especially think is great for a great way to get involved for a lot of people.
Absolutely. Yes, the skill sets are very important. At the beginning, I said my passion for helping people and my talent for marketing, putting them together as my brand foundation. And I've been able to work with organizations and volunteer with organizations that need the specific skill sets that I have. And because it is a lot with digital marketing, it does make it easier for me to do these. But webinars such as this to educate people how to get more active on the web and reach out to more people should be able to help out a little bit. And I truly do, so I truly hope so. So we can actually go to the next one if we're ready, teaching or guest speaking. I would offer to teach or speak at an event or a class, share your expertise with other professionals or aspiring professionals. This does help establish you as an industry expert and grow your credibility. The world needs leaders. Leaders head families. They coach teams. They run businesses, and they mentor others. These leaders not only accomplish, but they also must communicate. So being able to teach or guest speak at events, it helps to establish you as a thought leader in your industry. It expands your network. You can reach a large audience. It helps to improve your presentation skills, and you get to know the community. I would encourage asking for feedback and offer to send out the presentation and a follow-up. Public speaking, whether done in person or via webinar, is a great way of educating your audience, establishing your credibility, and generating a consistent stream of leads. So if you don't establish yourself as an expert, your competition will. Whether you speak for other groups or create your own speaking opportunities, you can leverage the web and social media to greatly increase your visibility. You should give a talk that educates the audience. Show them how your specific knowledge and expertise is invaluable. Then you won't have to sell. The right customer will want your product or service. So the tip here is don't sell, educate. You can approach your two partners with the idea that you'll present a great topic. They offer it to their customers. They get to cross-promote to each other's attendees as part of the deal. And then you simply get referred in as the expert. I've done this with the Rochester Brainery. The Brainery provides a space for experts to teach a class, and I've taught a couple different ones, and the Brainery promotes on their network. So I promote on my network, and my colleagues and other connections promote on their networks, and then all of a sudden I have a sold-out class. This also helps to build your database. Event attendees are there because they're interested in your topic. You can continue to be a resource to them by capturing their contact information. It also engages them in a sales funnel. I just tag-teamed a class 2 weeks ago, and it was sold out. And what was really cool about it was that there were people who attended by learning about it from the Brainery, but also several were from a previous class I had taught. So after each class, I make sure to follow up, connect on LinkedIn, and that helps take those relationships a step further. We also want to make it easy for them to buy from you. So when you're educating your audience, you probably will reference your products and services. Many people attend events to find resources and want to act immediately when they discover something that they need. So you can seize these opportunities by being ready to take orders after the event or have additional staff in attendance who can help answer the questions right on the spot. And then even after the event, you want to continue that momentum. Rather than reinventing your presentation for every event, think about how you might be able to reuse some of that valuable content in your integrated marketing efforts to promote yourself across multiple channels. Being on this webinar today is an opportunity to build my brand, and I do ask that you connect with me on LinkedIn to help build both of our networks. And we can actually move on to referrals if there are no questions. So with people you've already worked with, ask for referrals. If you're a business owner, offer a referral program and let others do the networking for you. We focus our core competencies on SEO and PPC, so I'm sure that people that we've worked with have tried, or that we haven't worked with that come to us have tried using Google AdWords or Facebook ads just to see their money disappear from their eyes. And many times this isn't the fault of the platform rather than their targeting. So a great marketing campaign involves two key components, a great message and laser targeting. Referral and word-of-mouth marketing tend to be much more targeted because people tend to know their friends and their social audiences pretty well. This allows your brand message to spread more effectively than with most other marketing channels. The trust goes a long way when it comes to convincing someone to buy something. If we don't trust someone, we aren't going to listen to them. Consider the last time a salesperson you know is on commission tried to sell you something, and that was my car. In hindsight, pretty upset about that. However, it's lasted a while. But anyway, you likely had doubts about his authenticity due to a lack of trust. With referral marketing, though, the sales pitch is usually coming from someone that you either know well, like friends and family, or it's coming from someone you have trust in. So time and time again, studies have shown that people almost always trust these people's opinions over generic advertisements and sales pitches carefully crafted by the brands themselves. And there's some ideas on how to get referrals on my LinkedIn page, and all it takes is just asking. Are there any questions? Good to
No, we're good in the chat window. Yeah.
The key takeaways. So share your story. It's a great way for people to be able to relate to you. They also, when you show some vulnerability and show them that you're a human being and you have feelings, then people are more likely to trust you rather than you're just coming at them with some hardcore sales pitch. Demonstrate your capabilities instead of just asking someone to believe in you. I really appreciate all of you being here today. I hope that I've been able to demonstrate some sort of leadership skills and hopefully I've been able to help influence you and inspire you in some way. I do recommend that you fill out your LinkedIn profile as much as you can and keep it updated. Don't sell, educate. Post on Pulse posts and add to groups on LinkedIn. Really, really important is to surround yourself with people who inspire you and you can grow from. If somebody around you is boasting negativity, that energy could easily flow into you and cause you to be negative, and it's very difficult to learn and grow from someone who isn't there to help but is only there to complain. Okay, go to the next slide. Personal branding is like SEO. It's consistency over time, builds credibility, and gets you found. Even if you fall to the wayside, it's easy to jump back in again. I mean, I told you that there was some down times and up times, and it's a constant roller coaster, but no matter what, we are always continuously refining ourselves, refining our brand based on what we experience, what we know, what we learn, and how we grow. I encourage you to get involved in the community, to attend networking events, to teach or speak, and continue to improve your leadership and communication skills. And most of all, believe in yourself.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Could you give an example of how to ask for a referral? Someone wanted to know.
On LinkedIn, in person, does it matter? Hey, you know what? I know that we did business with each other a while ago. It would really help me out if you could provide me a recommendation on LinkedIn on how I may have helped you in some way, and I'd be happy to do the same for you.
Right. So if you're looking for a recommendation on LinkedIn, or if you were looking for business, hey, we had a great project together, do you know anyone else who might need something similar? Or Chad and I were just talking about this, just the process of networking and spending time with people and getting to know, and Angelina had it on the previous slide, like not to sell to them, but just to educate and just share ideas. Almost by itself generates referrals. Jeff, what did you say to me the other day? Where I'm having salad and I take a bite of zucchini and they're like, oh, there's something else you could do for me, or this other person I know might need this business, and it just sort of builds on itself as you build that relationship. And I know a lot of people are scared to do that kind of networking because they think it's heavy duty sales. I was just talking to the head of I think it was student outreach at U of R, and he helps a lot of students trying to, and they're all the college students coming out are like petrified of networking because they believe they have to go out and sell. And he's always trying to convince them, no, just go be yourself and like get to know people, and don't try to sell. Don't be unnatural. Just be more education focused. What are you thinking about? Here's what I'm thinking about, and those referrals kind of bubble up. There was another one in here. How do you put a video on your profile?
Are you talking your LinkedIn?
They did not specify.
You could take a video, like a selfie video with your phone or even with your laptop and upload it to YouTube, and then you can share the link on your profile page. There's also a component on LinkedIn that allows you to add rich media and keep it there. If you go to my LinkedIn page, you'll actually see a video that I collaborated with some of the team members here that talks about one of our featured products. And it's about a 2.5-minute promotional video, and that stays on my LinkedIn page at all times. So anybody who's looking through that can see some of the work that we've done.
Great. And a few comments in here. Alex said, what a fantastic and informative webinar. Thank you, Angelina. Austin said, this is great, Angelina. I'm going to invest much more time in my social media presence and connecting with motivating people. I really appreciate this. It's great to have you on, Austin. I'm glad to have you here. And someone else said, thank you very much, Angelina at HubShot. This is extremely, extremely helpful. Great. And then some guy named Jason says, you're a superwoman. You might be looking for a date, though. Jason, glad you could be here. That's everything, Chad.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you, everyone, and as we've said a few times, this has been recorded. We will post this up on the website tomorrow, and thank you very much for attending. We will see you in the next one.
Yeah, thanks, everybody. Have a great afternoon, and thank you, Angelina. Really nice job. Appreciate you coming.